Let's just be real. Something about Meghan Markle's obsession, the royal family runs deeper than anyone wants to admit. We're not talking casual admiration here. We're talking full-on fixation, years in the making. Even before Prince #Harry ever entered the picture, it's eerie once you start connecting the dots. Like Meghan didn't just stumble into royal life clueless. She walked in with receipts, a #references, and a very specific aesthetic in mind. I start with the wedding dress situation. Meghan married her first husband, Trevor Ingles, in 2011, just a few months after Prince William and Catherine tied the knot. And guess what kind of dress Meghan wore to her beach ceremony? A gown that looked oddly similar to Catherine's iconic reception dress. Sure, it could have been a coincidence, but then you remember Meghan had actually written about Catherine's royal wedding on her old blog, The Tig. She had opinions, breakdowns, commentary. She wasn't just a bystander, she was tuned in fully. That's not a one-off either. Over the years, Meghan has constantly echoed the styles and visuals of both Catherine and the late Princess Diana. From #fashion choices to interview aesthetics to symbolic gestures, she's mirrored them more than on CE. It's like she wasn't just inspired by #them, she wanted to be them, and the weirdest part, she pretended she didn't even know who they were. When Meghan first got with Harry, one of her big #NES was, "I didn't really know much about the royal family." Which sounds innocent enough, until you realize, she'd posed for photos outside Buckingham Palace years earlier, until you find out she #ad Diana her true story way before she ever met Harry. Until you hear her own friends say she was obsessed with the royals, especially #Anna and Catherine. Girl, come on now. Imagine being Harry in all this. You think you're introducing someone new to your world, someone who doesn't care about the fame or titles. Someone who fell in love with you for you. But little by little, cracks show. And they don't just show, they scream. Meghan didn't marry into something foreign. She married into something familiar, studied, idolized, maybe even rehearsed. And it's not just fans who see it. Even royal insiders and commentators are straight up saying it looks like Meghan always had a game plan, that she created her image, her moves, her relationships to inch closer to this fairy tale life. One popular royal YouTuber flat out called it a sickness. Like, there's something unsettling about how calculated it all feels. The obsession, the lies, the constant rewriting of her own past. And poor Harry, he's like a frog in boiling water. Maybe he senses something's off, but is too deep in now. He's in America away from his family, tangled in lawsuits, trying to rebrand with Netflix deals and tell all books. He's got too many plates spinning to stop and ask the real question. Did Meghan ever really love him? Or was he just a stepping stone into the legacy she always craved? You can't ignore the signs. She cut off her own family. She claims to not know basic facts about the royals, only for old blogs and pub #lick records to prove otherwise. Her image has always been shaped around being the modern Diana, down to the charity photos, fashion choices, and tragic interviews. But the difference is Diana never pretended. Meghan plays innocent, when really she's been scripting her royal arc long before her first date with Harry. And honestly, that kind of long-term roleplay feels a little dangerous, especially when the person you're playing is your own husband's mother. At some point, you've got to wonder, did Harry really not see any of this? Or did he just choose to ignore it? Because facing the truth would have shattered the fantasy. Everyone around him could see the patterns, the red flags, the curated path Meghan was walking. But for Harry, maybe denial was easier than accepting that the woman who claimed to know nothing had probably known everything from day one. Think about how fast their relationship moved from first date to royal wedding in record time. And during that whirlwind, Meghan somehow managed to position herself perfectly, saying the right things, dressing the right way, playing the role of the reluctant outsider. But behind the scenes, there were signs that she was far more comfo #Rtable with the royal machine than she let on. Friends of hers from back in the day even said she'd studied the royals intensely, admired Diana's legacy, and had always dreamed of making a global impact. Sound familiar? Then came the major contradictions. Meghan told Oprah she'd never Googled Harry, never looked up the row #Yal family. But really, a Hollywood actress, who had already written about #the Reen on her blog, who had taken tourist photos outside Buckingham Palace, never once ran a search on the most famous royal bachelor in TV world. That's hard to believe. #, even harder when you realize her friends and family knew exactly who Harry was. Her own mother's reaction, as seen in their Netflix docu-series, was an instant, "Oh my God." The moment Meghan revealed who she was dating. That doesn't happen if you're dealing with an unknown. It's not just about curiosity either. It's about the Lee. She didn't just underplay her knowledge. She flat out denied it repeatedly. And as time went on, more and more inconsistencies piled up. Meghan said she had no help adjusting to royal life, but staff came forward describing her demands and diva-like behavior. She claimed to be silenced #T maintained her blog, gave interviews, and kept public control over her image. She said she was #bullied, but multiple reports suggest it may have been the other way around. And all this while Harry slowly distanced himself from everything he once knew. His military titles, his family, his friends, his homeland. Every piece of his past was stripped away, or traded for something shinier in Meghan's world. She got the spotlight. He got the isolate ion. It's the kind of subtle manipulation that doesn't look like manipulation at first. It looks like support, like love, like protection, until you wake up and realize you've got nothing left that's truly yours. But here's the real kicker. None of this would matter if Meghan had just been honest. If she'd come in saying, "Yeah, I've always admired the royals. I've read the books. I know who you are. I've dreamed about the #s." People would have respected that more than the fake innocence act. The real issue #SNT, that she was obsessed with Diana or Catherine. It's that she pretended she wasn't and then built an entire brand on that lie. Now the public's #hing on. The media is not falling for the victim narrative as easily. And even Harry seems more tired in every appearance. Like a man carrying a weight he can't #ute explain. His eyes say what his words never do. Something isn't right. And deep down, he probably owes it. He just doesn't know how to fix it without blowing up everything he's built since leaving the royal fold. Because the truth is, once you start building your life on a lie, the foundation #on's already cracked. There's a reason Meghan's story doesn't sit right with so many people. It's not just about the dresses, or the blog posts, or the conveniently forgotten royal facts. It's the feeling that everything, every quote, every tear might have been rehearsed, that she walked into the monarchy not to join it, but to reshape it around her. And the deeper that illusion cracks, the clearer it becomes that Harry might have been the biggest pawn in the entire production. Look at how Meghan severed ties with nearly everyone from her past. Her father gone, her siblings exposed and discarded, #LD friends ghosted. The only people who seem to survive #E in her circle are the ones who serve her narrative. She's rewritten her life to fit the role of misunderstood princess, someone who didn't see #their fame, but had it thrust upon her. But the pattern is always the same. If you threaten the image, you're out. And now that same control seems to have reached Harry. Once a carefree, unpredictable royal if a mischievous streak, has been polished into a talking point, part of a #TW #Oppasun PR campaign. His old friends don't recognize #E him. His brother won't speak to him. His relatio #nship with his father is strained and transactional. And Catherine, the sister-in-law who once seemed like a bridge between worlds, complete #eerie shutout. William, on the other hand, has drawn his lee #ne in the sand. Where Charles might waffle and hope for reconciliation, William has adopted the steel spine of their grandmother. He sees what this has done to the family, to the monarchy, and most importantly to public trust. Forgiveness is one thing. Reopening the gates for chaos is no #there. And Williams made it clear there's no return path for someone who's helped torch the palace from the outside. What's tragic is how predictable all of this feels. The story of the Duke of Windsor echoes in every move Harry makes. An American divorce, the fantasy of freedom, the better Isle of Duty, it's all been played before and history is simply looping its warning. The difference now is that this I'm the chaos has social media behind it. Netflix specials, Oprah interviews, TikToks dissecting every expression. There's no room to quietly fade out anymore. The drama is the brand #D. But drama gets old and eventually please stop watching the show. That's what Harry and Meghan are *ting to realize. The same public that once championed their breakaway now sees through the polished footage. And when the camera's cut off, what's left? Two people living in a mansion they can barely afford, desperately trying to stay relevant in a world hats moved on. The sad part, there might still be a chance for Harry if he stooped performing. If he looked in the mirror and asked himself who he really is without the noise, the brand, the carefully curated narrative. But that means letting go of fantasy, of Meghan's dream, of the illusion he's been helping her maintain for years. And Meghan, she'll survive no matter what. That's the thing about people who build images for a living. They always have a backup plan. Another cause, another headline, another opportune #90. But for Harry, there's no script left. Just the quiet trut waiting for him when the lights finally dim. Because at the heart of it all is a man who lost his way, not because he fell in love, but because he thought love would save him from himself. And instead, it